Hey guys, Joel here, Greywolf TV. We are back with our reactions to Fringe. We're on to episode 11 of season 3. The last episode was absolutely fascinating, especially because it appeared with Christopher Lloyd in it, and it was kind of a time travel episode. We had the Observer in it. We found out an awful lot as to the cause and effect of changing things in the future and the past and what can happen. So much so that the Observer laid it all out for us as to exactly the mistakes that he had made that made everything turn out the way that it has, and that he's trying to put things right. He put Walter to a test to see if he would be willing to sacrifice Peter at some point in the future. I don't know what that means. Doesn't sound good, but we're just going to carry on and see where we go from here. This is episode 11.
I understand you broke the encryption on the computer the other Olivia left behind.
A few days ago. Unfortunately, it's one big file. Mission details buried in hundreds of pages of mundane observations about our world. We don't know what's valuable and what isn't.
Whoa. Damn.
So far, we haven't been able to figure out how the machine works. As I was saying, we're confounded. There doesn't seem to be an energy source and nothing that suggests the machine can hold or transmit any type of power.
Track, you getting this?
Yeah.
Some kind of electromagnetic spike.
Holy shit. Oh my god, it's him. It's Peter.
It's like something triggered it.
It did.
Something did trigger it. Me.
The first people's book. I read it cover to cover a dozen times. There's nothing to suggest how that device works or how it's connected to you.
Walter.
You still haven't convinced me that this is necessary. Every human being gives off a unique electromagnetic signature. We're testing to see if it was indeed your sons that triggered the machine.
I have a graduate degree from MIT as well.
He's one of the most gifted biomedical engineers in the country.
Okay, Louise. I don't want him poking and prodding my son.
No, I know you're worried about
I'm not worried, Nina. I'm terrified.
Listen, I tried to call you last night and you didn't pick up.
Yeah, why were you?
Yeah, Walter was being Walter. I had to go for a walk.
We're ready.
An encryption team has been waiting for the data on the other Olivia's hard drive.
Yeah, I hear it's one big mess.
More than 300 pages of material. But there's a reason I haven't already asked. Her mission logs are filled with personal observations, and many of them concern her relationship with Peter. The file is on the mainframe. His name was Michael Baird. He was found dead in the fountain by a colleague. Emmy thinks he was murdered sometime around 3 a.m.
So what's with the dead fish?
Yeah.
He died of mercury poisoning.
Mercury.
No, not another one.
His data storage disk was removed. Thank you. Whoever did this knew what they were doing. Agent Farnsworth, I need you to run a search on the other Olivia's data file.
Okay, what's the name?
Michael Baird.
There
Yeah,
you go.
he's on here. He's on a long list of Port Authority employees.
Shut down the mainframe. Shut it down now. And from this moment on, no one accesses that file except you. We cracked the encryption on the other Olivia's hard drive 36 hours ago.
Yeah.
Among the info, she lists thousands of names. Michael Baird is one of them. Because someone on our side may have told him.
Yeah.
We got him.
You got a mole.
You're honestly trying to tell me that's just a coincidence?
No, I'm telling you, we still have no idea how any of that happened. But from a medical standpoint, you seem perfectly normal.
All the FBI decryption teams, anybody in Mass Dynamic.
Okay, Peter.
Trust me, we're on top of it. We're questioning every one of them as we speak. In fact, that's what Walter and Nina are doing at Massive Dynamic now.
So far, all the blood tests have come back negative, but that doesn't rule out the possibility of a human mole.
Lie detectors are unreliable.
He's right. People beat them all the time.
But not this one. William designed it. It measures the slightest shift in facial muscles, which allows us a link to stress and a particular emotion. His facial muscles tell us that his stress is not connected to feelings of guilt or shame. I found William's research.
Oh.
His notes suggest that he designed a retroviral serum based on your DNA that will regrow your brain tissue. The original labels were destroyed. I'm going to ask the lab to run diagnostics on all three. Then they should be able to tell us which one was made for you. Walter.
What?
Don't worry, I've snorted worse.
A few good whiffs and my brain should be able to begin to regrow its missing parts.
About the other Olivia's files. I know that you slept with her, and I know that you're trying to protect me.
I've conned people. And I know what I would have written about them. She must have thought that I was a fool. And I don't want you to see me like that.
Hey, it's me. Could you send Dr. Falcon up, please?
What?
Dr. Falcon left work early.
It's him. No, he's been replaced.
Well, Astrid's still going through her files, but so far, no luck identifying the remaining shapeshifters.
What was that?
Walter.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was very rude. I was displaying dominance.
Excuse me?
The serum I took, that must have been meant for a chimpanzee. My immune system will recognize it as foreign and reject it.
The last few weeks have been really hard for me. I've been so focused on what the other Olivia did to me that I just haven't thought about what she did to you.
I said this.
The good news is that she's gone. I know it doesn't feel like that at the moment, but she is gone. And, we can get past it.
Good.
Hey, Bermudez.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I was just about to say that sounded like Peter's voice.
Somewhere in here are the names of the remaining shapeshifters, and we're running out of options. We're the same, the other Olivia and me. I mean, I should be able to think the same way, so maybe I'm going to be able to find a pattern.
Actually, I was calling for Peter.
He's not with you? Has he finished the tests already?
Well,
He didn't
finished.
go
No,
back for
that's why I'm
tests.
calling. I wanted to schedule a round of tests. But I also know that you understand why these tests are so important. Will you tell him I called?
Has he been doing his own research and not telling anyone? I think he has. Yep. Oh no.
You know, this may have started out as a mission, but
Didn't end that way.
turned into something else. I mean, she was starting to have real feelings for him. We speak the same. We use the same phrases. I'm reading this, and I'm thinking, this is how I make sense of things. We even use this...
Olivia?
What?
Okay, I think I got something. When I was a little kid, my mother used to call me Olive, and hers did too. So I think this is a letter substitution code. So O-L-I-V-E. O is the 15th letter of the alphabet. So on the 15th page, the 15th name is...
It's Newton. The 22nd name on the 22nd page is Jackie Bermudez.
And the last one is Zach Alpert. Okay, we got him.
That look like a dummy. That is a dummy. No, Walter! Quick, 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 quick! Oh my god!
How'd you break the code?
It's only 5 letters in Olive. Yeah, and Newton, Baird, Falcon are dead. Bermudez is missing.
So that leaves one.
You killed them all, didn't you, Peter?
Yes, he did.
I didn't learn anything from the rest of the data yet. He's the last one. He must know something.
You can't
They're
just-
soldiers, Walter. They're here to kill us. Besides, they're not even human. And I'm not doing anything wrong.
Oh, that's a dangerous path.
Then why didn't you tell us?
Exactly.
If you weren't doing anything wrong, why didn't you tell us?
And we failed. He got all of them, and now he's gone. We don't know who he was. We're always just a step behind.
Well, we still have the other Olivia's computer. Maybe Astrid can learn something.
That face.
I understand you have news on the device.
Not exactly, but we found these 3 copies of the First People's book. 3 different languages, written by 3 different authors. They're all published within 2 years of each other. So, forgiving for the translations, they're almost literally word for word. The planet has been spinning for 5 billion years. We've only been around for the past 250,000. There were 6 major extinction events before we even crawled out of the slime. So who's to say that one of them didn't wipe out a great civilization? When we put the word out that we were looking for copies of the book, we found out we weren't the only ones. A few years ago, somebody started a similar search.
Who?
William Bell.
He knew. Is there anything this man didn't know? That was quite a interesting episode because I had no clue when these shapeshifters started turning up dead who it was going to be. They left it as long as they possibly could in the episode until they revealed what was going on, and I didn't get any hints of it either. Maybe if I watched it again I might, but I did pick up on Dr. Falcon halfway into that episode when Peter was having his tests done and they started talking about a dead shapeshifter. You spotted it in his face immediately. So he's done this to try to, as he said, he's sick of being reactive, he wants to get ahead of the curve. So he's felt it necessary to decode for Olivia, I like that word, her diary and her logs, and he's figured out that code that Olivia just used to find the 5th one, and he's gone and killed them all, and he's justifying it because of how vital it is to get more information, and is also justifying the fact that they're not human, so he's not doing anything wrong. But Walter pulled him on the one thing, you know, if there's nothing wrong with this, why don't you tell us? Why are you hiding it? There's no reason to hide it from us lot. We also know what these people are. Would you actually be classed as a murderer, or wouldn't you? But the thing to focus on more than anything in that episode was at the beginning, was the fact that this machine literally really does do exactly what it says on the tin, kind of thing. And that diagram of showing Peter is the person who can power it, operate it, whatever, is absolutely true, and they can't figure out why. There's nothing showed up in the tests as to there being anything wrong, as far as we know, because the person doing in the test was one of the damn shapeshifters. We don't know, but all his tests came back pretty much none. So something is uniquely tuned between Peter and the machine. It's got to be something to do with his DNA, but why him? I don't understand why him. Of all the billions of people on the planet, why him? It can have absolutely no bearing or consequence or connection to Walter or him doing what he did, saving Peter's life and pulling him from another universe. Would Walter's Peter, the one that died, would he have been the same? Because obviously there's one for each universe. I'm presuming he would have been. And if I think right back to when the Observer first pulled them out of the lake and he's driving them back in the car, I remember him saying the boy is important. Now we know why. At least I'm presuming that's what he meant. I'll see how it can be anything else. And I can understand why he was not wanting Olivia to read through for Olivia's diary, files, logs, whatever you want to call it, because he felt as though it was going to emancipate him, it was going to show him as being weak and foolhardy, as he said. But it's not how it's come across in the logs at all from what Olivia has read of it, that she really was falling for him. And we could see that in the first few episodes of this season, so where do we go from here now? So all those 5 are now dead. He's not gotten any more information from them, or the from the actual storage devices, there's nothing being contained in any of them. All we know is he can make the machine suddenly jump into action and be powered, and that's as far as we're going to have got in this episode. Other than the fact that Walter is still busy on trying to figure out a way of making himself not necessarily smarter, making him who he was. He's not trying to surpass who he was, he's trying to get back what he had. And that chimpanzee thing was just crazy when he started showing signs of chimpanzee behaviour there, because he snorted that thing. Right, so I think that's pretty much all we can take from that episode. And we'll just have to wait until we get a bit further down the line to see if anything else comes from this. Because as we stand right now, Olivia's perfectly right. They're all dead. We don't know anything more than we knew at the start of this episode, other than the fact that you can power the machine. That's it, that's all we know. We know they've built it. We know there is one component definitely missing that Olivia took back with her. We don't know exactly what that does, but Walton clearly needed it. Right, we'll leave it there then, guys. Right, still a great episode though, and that was really starting to move the storyline along. I am concerned that it is starting to change Peter, what with this machine business and what he's gone through with the other Olivia. I think Walter's hitting it out on the head here, where he's like, no, it's not the machine necessarily that's changing him and weaponizing him. His experiences and what's going on at the moment is making him see things differently. Right then, so I will be back for episode 12 very soon, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Please put your comments down below, let me know what you think, and make sure that you watch the next episode, which will be number 12. And to do that, please turn notifications on, hit that subscribe button, and if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. I'll see you for episode 12 very soon. Till then, thanks very much for watching. Take care.